Hey, what's up everybody? Rob here from Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about character design, and at least from the neck up, obviously. So these are some character concepts I just came up with. None of them took very long, and they all started with shape first. So this is a kind of a neat practice activity for you to try. So you're going to start by first developing just a primitive shape. You can see a lot of these fit within the realm of like an oval type face, a little bit skinnier up top. This guy has like a planter's peanut head going on. She has a very round face down here. He's got a very square jaw, almost like a Mr. Incredible or somebody, or who's that cartoon this reminds me of? American Dad. So whatever. So a lot of these are probably just, I didn't look at anything, but the memory is going to come into play. So these are some that I sketched out. You can head over to my DeviantArt and download these if you want to use them for reference, or you can just kind of screen grab them right here, I guess. But what I want to show you is how I go about this process. Now, I think it's a good idea to really draw out like a bunch of these and try it. So say you were to draw out, pretty much a square head, right? And then you pick another shape for the hair. You could say this character has, spiky hair that kind of leans over to a side. I recommend that you draw the faces on an angle. So don't do this and draw them symmetrical because it takes away from the creative vibe that you're trying to get here. This is the kind of an exploration of the shape and then also expression and all that. You want to get all that in there because you're not taking a long absorbent amount of time to create these. So you might take an angle shot like this. You might factor in some big ears, a little skinny neck, a little ski slope type nose, a little hook up, little things like that. And you just kind of build out to the character, and depending on the cartoon style that you want, you could call that done. I like to add a little bit more detail, but that's like a quick kind of cartoony look, right? So that would be a very squared off face. Now what I want to do is show you more of the real time of what I tend to do. I used to caricature for parties, so this is really where I kind of started doing this. And then as I learned more about character design, you pick up on other things that factor in. But mainly it starts off with primitive shapes. And, you got to remember that, faces can fall into, I can't remember that. I think there's 5 of them, but it's basic primitive shapes. So you could say square, triangle, upside down triangle. Generally that will denote like a villainous character, just so you know. Sharp angles will mean stuff is dangerous, and likewise with the character concepts you can do that. So circle usually means friendly and safe. What else? Obviously if you get into things like the heart-shaped face, that's going to mean more of a friendly, kind of beautiful person, things like that. I can't remember the people that have a heart-shaped face. And you probably think of like, this and go, well, who in the world really has a heart-shaped face? It's not so literal. So basically, it comes up like this, the chin comes out, rounds over, the hair comes out, and that's how you get more of a heart-shaped face. And a basic idea of that, really basic. Obviously more rectangular. Then you're going to combine the shapes. So it's going to be like rectangular and oval, and you get kind of that peanut head or that bean shape, So then you have like a bean shaped face, which is actually really popular. Everybody loves these days. It's like more and more of them are coming out. No, I didn't mean like popular like that. Anyways, but yeah. So let's just jump in. There's more I could try to explain to you, but without looking at notes and stuff and really delving into it, it's just basic primitive shapes. So the neat thing about this is if you were just to sit here and scribble out these shapes and then try to form faces into them. It seems weird at first, like why in the world would I do that? And what it does is it actually forces you, none of these are really looking that great. I kind of like this one. What it forces you to do is think outside of the box and work with what you've got here. So like for instance, say I had this shape like this. We'll say, and I attach an ear on this side and a big, funky hairdo like this. There's a character there. It doesn't look like much yet, but this is a big brow. This is, the chin. This is kind of like that bottom lip kind of drooping out. So it's already kind of painting a bit of the expression. I'm going to go with this big, like overly exaggerated brow like that. And I'll just show you how I clean this up. So this is essentially how I do it. I start with that shape first, and then I just kind of piece the puzzle together. This works really well for caricaturing because you're looking at a person at the same time. And you're going, oh, they kind of have a weird shaped chin. I'm going to run with that. And, then you make fun of them and they love you for it. It's really strange. Yeah, I did caricature parties for years. I won't bore you with that. But anyways, it's great for your comic art as well. These make for great cartoon comic characters. You want this interesting, overly kind of interesting look to the characters sometimes. So I'm getting this very flat cheekbone, this popped out lip, the chin here. See I'll change some things. I'll stylize it as I go. Kind of this pouty look. I think that looks kind of fun. And then as far as the nose, we could say, well, he's got this, hook nose that comes back and really flat against the face. If we don't want to change the silhouette, if we don't mind to change the silhouette, then we can bring the nose out a little bit like this. You could give him, little cute little button nose like that. Let's go with that. I don't know if that's cute, but we'll just say it is. And let's see here. We could overdo the eyebrows, so like these really overly heavy brows with overly furry eyebrows. Something like that. And then for the eye, give him like this little depressed look. Looks so sad. What happened? Yeah, something like that. We'll just go with it. Now, obviously, I could change this around a bit. And these big old floppy ears. It's funny. I think it's funny anyways. Like that. And then get the hairline in there. We'll give him a receding hairline because that would explain the depressed look on his face. Just like that. Okay, and then, we could just kind of fill in areas. So if he's got darker hair, you're generally going to fill in more. So you can kind of establish a light source at the same time by doing that. So you see, just a primitive kind of setup. Nothing too amazing here, nothing too crazy, but it gives us a character. And then from here, you would just kind of like, maybe blue line it. If you're working digitally or, if it's paper, you're just going to soft erase it back again. And you just get in here and ink it. And this is your chance to, like I didn't ink the other ones I showed you, but I'll go ahead and ink this one real quick. This is your chance to like really give it another level of cleanliness and change any little discrepancies that you see. So I often try to fix any last little bits I can while I'm here. So it's not just cleaning up the work, it's like making incremental changes if I can. I try to think of it like that so I don't just trace exactly what's there. To me, it seems like a missed opportunity if you do that. Like you see, I got to fix this jawline. It's pretty skewed. I'm trying to find the right angle here. Thank goodness for Control Z, or Command Z, I should say, because I'm working off a Mac. So we'll just bring this line over to here and then try to connect it. Well, I really cannot draw to the side. I just have to turn the page. That's just the way it is. I practice it just because at some point in my life, I want to be able to draw to the side without rotating the page. But yeah, I'm driving myself nuts by doing that. And then again, this kind of frumpy look on the face. Notice that I take the opportunity to shift little lines as I do it. I get like these different lines I use. I use commas. I use V's. Just these little couple lines side by side and a few little dots. It's just a couple little things that I do to make the line look more interesting versus just, plain Jane or whatever. So little techniques you can do, like make the top line thicker. No line at the bottom, or almost no line, basically. So just a heavier weighted line at the top. staring off in the distance like, I can't believe my hair is receding. I'm only 50 or whatever age this character is. Maybe he's like 20, and then it would be a lot more depressing. Okay, big old filled in eyebrows. Probably change the shape a little bit for the eyebrow. Would probably make sense, right, if they're that big. And let's fill those in. Hopefully I closed off the shapes. I did, thank goodness. Same thing, just kind of figure out the silhouette of these shapes. But yeah, it's kind of a fun way to create, and since we're flying through this, you can see this isn't taking a tremendous amount of time. You can really get a bunch of these on the page, and you can explore some different ideas rather quickly, and that's great for conceptual design. That's great for character design. You want to be able to quickly adjust and maneuver and see what you can get out of the old brain box. But by doing this shape first kind of thing, it really helps you to fight that repetitive thing that you do where you draw the same face, because there's certain things that you're good at drawing, so you kind of repeat that process. It's this comfort level thing that we do, but you got to fight that, because growth comes out of like not being in your element, being out of your element. That's how you grow to the next level in almost anything in life. So you have to kind of throw yourself in the deep end of the pool. Please do not take this literally. Merely trying to make an idea of a point, not don't jump into a deep end of the pool if you can't swim. But I shouldn't have to say that, but it's YouTube, folks. I don't know how people take what I say, but yeah, so like there's the shapes there. Let's fill these in. Boom, boom, boom. Please make sound effects. It does help your illustrations, I promise you. Okay, so the ear, little stylized representation of it anyways. Kind of, you see I'm just chiseling out these forms a little bit as I go. I'm not strictly repeating what's there. I'm taking the opportunity to try to make it a little bit better. And just like that, we have a character. And I could get in here and add tinier little lines and make them look a bit more aged. Obviously these tiny lines add character, but also add age. And just like that, we have a character that started off basically shape first. So try this out. It's a fun exercise. Get a bunch of them down on the page. Really explore a variety of ideas. Use these for reference if you need to. And let me know what you think of videos like this, and I'll get more on the schedule for you. So as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.